Yo, what's going on, my kings and queens? Welcome to podcast, Stand Up Podcast. I'm your boy, Danny Royce, where Chicago meets Brooklyn. And I'm here with my boy, Big Mike. What's good?
Yeah, what's going on? Michael Houston in the building. We out here. We doing some things. Chicago meets Cali meets DMV.
He in a DMV. Yes, sir. And we are joined by the amazing man. This man, he is a great friend, a great commentator, social commentator, comedian, act. You know, I'm just going to go through what you do because you know what? Like film producer.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. Actor, director. He does everything. And I really, really love this guy. Sampson McCormick in the house. What's good? Entertainer.
Yeah,
how you doing, man?
I do all the things. I just be in everybody's business, you know. Thank you for having me on Stand Up Podcast.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here. So I want to jump right into this thing right here because on your Instagram you posted everything isn't homophobic or transphobic. People are allowed to have a different opinion even if it makes you uncomfortable. It's your responsibility to accept your pronouns. Self, etc. Mm-hmm. Okay, so go ahead. Talk to me about what you meant by posting that.
Oh, Lord. You know, the new gays, that's what I call them, the new gays. And a lot of the world as we know it now, they are basing a lot of the social politics on everybody else's acceptance. And the healthiest thing you can do is to love your individual self. And that means accepting yourself regardless to whether anybody else accepts that or not.
Right.
And so we live in a world now where people will, you know, you can basically reach up in the sky and snatch out whatever you think your identity is. And you have a right to do that. But the reality is, and I'm going to just be blunt, women have vaginas and men have penises. You were born black, you were born white, whatever. And if you are a white person and if you come into a black neighborhood and you start telling black people, I'm black, they're going to look at you like you're crazy. You can still identify however you want to identify, but just know that in how you identify, people are going to look at you and they're going to perceive you in the way that they perceive you. Mm-hmm. Usually that's going to be most of the time when we talk about the physical, based on physical reality.
Right.
You know, and so I don't see why it's any different when you see somebody with a beard and a mustache. Mm-hmm. Why I have to think about whether that's a sir or not. Because if she's not 80 years old smoking cigarettes on the couch looking at Young and the Restless,
okay,
we know that's a sir.
Have you had any, like, those within your circle who may be trans or maybe more on the, not the new gay side, but I guess they're the old gay, but I guess they are more into the whole pronoun thing and being more attached to it. Have you had that battle with a close friend?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I, you know, you really have to have a healthy sense of understanding who your friends are. A real friend will accept whatever differences there are, and that is something that you build your relationship on. Right. I had a friend some months ago, I went on Fox Soul, and they said, Are you struggling with any of the new language in the community? And I said, yes, pronouns. I think if you want to be called a she, when you come out of the house, you need to make some effort to look like one. I was in Target, and I saw a person that was clearly a man. Let's not be stupid. It was a man. You know, and he had a very wide back.
Wait, you talking about like behind or back? Like
his back.
The wings.
He had a big back.
Oh, okay, I got you. The wings.
He was shaped like an upside down triangle. Okay. And breathing all hard and stuff. And he looked like he drive a truck or something.
Right.
That's context clue. In your head, I mean, we judge each other in our heads. I don't know why we
always
act like we don't. And I'm just like, this big ass, get out my damn way. So I go, excuse me, sir. He paused for a second. Excuse me, I'm a man. And I was just like, well, you need to try harder. And so I went on TV and I said that. because I'm not a phony person. That was just my experience.
Right.
And I had a friend the person is not a friend. I have an acquaintance who's a they them. Red flag.
So wait, I remember reading about what it actually like stands for, but I forgot it because I don't remember.
It stands for bipolar.
Yeah, right. I'm like, as a Gemini, I can relate them all the time.
Right.
But I just don't. I don't understand really. But then, if you want people to understand, have the patience when people mess up or people don't get it.
And people have a right to say, I don't agree with that. You
Right.
know, people
Exactly.
can respectfully disagree. Like, and I'm gonna tell y'all this real quick, and then I'm gonna make a quick point. So the day them friend that I had sent me a text and said, "I can't believe you went on TV and said that." And I said, "Well, what are you not believing?" I'm very transparent. I've always talked like this. Right. Well, we need to have a conversation, and let's do it in an hour because I'm still processing.
Right.
I'm like, whatever.
Oh shit. An hour.
I need to process. And so we talked, and he basically, excuse me, the motherfucker has a penis. But they said, we can't be friends if that's the type of opinion that you have.
Right.
And said some other things, and I was just like, well, so be it. Because I just think that if you were really somebody who considers me a friend, you would be able to say, well, why do you think this way?
Right.
And over time, we have this, conversation that perhaps can or may not change my perspective, but it really is about creating an understanding between two people.
Right.
A quick point that I wanted to make, I forgot what it was, was about, this is what it was. And so we live in a very vast world, right?
Right.
And back in the day, it's you sticks and stones might break your bones, but
Right.
words can never hurt you.
Right.
That's what we grew up on.
Right.
And so them is not new.
Right.
The way that it is enforced now is new. Because we grew up with people, and you would look at them and you couldn't quite tell if they were a boy or a girl. And some days they had titties on, and some days they didn't, and all kinds.
That's true though.
And, they put some socks. And they had golf balls and shit all over their shirt, and they were we called them androgynous. That's what they were.
Yeah. Androgynous.
In the early 2000s, them was androgynous.
Right.
And so the understanding was that some people wouldn't know what to call you.
Right.
And we would say, okay, well, say you go to a restaurant and, somebody that says, sir or ma'am or whatever. They'd be like, well, I really don't care what they call me. Just,
just
I
get it together.
People are going to mix up, and that's a part of what this identity is. But now it's, if you don't call me exactly what I'm telling you to call me, I'm going to get you fired. I'm going to humiliate you. I'm going to get you ostracized. And that's bullying.
It is bullying. And speaking of getting fired, so tell us what's going on with this
Jacksonville, Florida.
This Jacksonville, Florida BS.
It is BS. They basically got my food stamps cut off. I was. Thank God I'm not on those.
Okay.
But, ain't nothing wrong with.
Ain't nothing wrong with
right,
little,
I pull out my car right now.
Okay, pull out that EBT. We've been there.
But it's. I had a gig coming up. Me and Flame Monroe, who's another, really popular LGBTQ comedian.
We.
We were co-headlining at Jacksonville Theater, and I thought it was great that they put the two of us together because Flame and I are both radically honest about our views.
Yeah, Flame,
not politically correct. And so when I saw us two together, I was like, oh, so this is good. Like, you get two for the price of one. These people get it. This is going to be a great show. They had been advertising this show for a month, so why do you send me an email 3 days before the show after I bought the ticket and booked the room and say, we've had a public outrage, we're canceling the show?
Right.
Wow. Have you spoke to Flame about it?
Oh, she don't give a damn. She don't tell what Dave should be.
Right. She don't care.
She was like, they can't. I said, they canceled the show. She said, I know. I'm on a flight to Chicago. Me and Dave got 5 shows.
That's this whole
on to the next.
This whole I call it like bandwagon outrage, because I feel like some people deep down inside they really don't care, but they feel like they have to say something because the collective is.
People are followers.
Right.
Literally. I mean, we see that people are followers. People don't have the courage to stand in their own convictions. Most people's online opinions are about likes and virtue signaling. And I do know that there are people who just, they get in, phrase and things like that to make themselves look good.
Right.
And I'm old school. I believe in meeting people outside.
Yeah.
And so there was a dude. The dude was cute too, but this was back when I was fighting the LGBTQ community in March when the scandal controversy first broke. He's talking trash on Twitter, and so I'm just subtweeting, and I finally go, I want to see this person out in the street, and I went down to WeHo, and I just happened to be in WeHo, and he was talking to a friend of mine, so. We was at Trunks, at this club called Trunks. So I motioned at my friend and I say, tap him and tell him to come here. And the dude looked at me and I did like this. And so he came over and I said, hello, how are you? And I said, aren't you at, I'm not going to say the name. But
Well, damn, I want to go ahead and look it up too.
Aren't you at such and such? And he said, yes. I said, well, I'm at whatever my Twitter name is. And I said, so. He said, yes, I know you. I said, I know. And so we had conversations these days, and you said this, and this, and I need you to repeat that to my face. No, I ain't mean it like that.
Come on.
Like that.
Come on.
And I'm like, I need you to understand when you talk trash to somebody online, there is a person reading that.
On the other end.
Was he part of the New Gays?
No, he was just stupid.
So now we know that New Gays does not equal stupid. So that's
no. The New Gays, they just crazy.
Crazy as hell. Interesting. So what's going on? You had a great run. I mean, you're all over the place. Booking. You're going to, where are you going soon? Miami?
Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale. That's what it is.
That's next week.
That's next week. What's your your favorite thing about being on tour or going to certain venues for shows? What's your favorite part about that?
The people. I like people, but it has to be in an open space. I didn't realize till I got my 30s that I had social anxiety, which is why I'm better at performing for people than talking to them.
Yes.
Because I do like the energy of a lot of people, but I like to be able to control how I am interacting with them. So when I'm on stage, I can talk to you, and then I can leave.
Yeah.
And I like that. And I can perform. So the social anxiety goes away. So after the show, being in the lobby, hugging people, talking to them, and then I don't have the pressure of maintaining a bunch of friendships when I come home.
Yeah,
that
makes sense.
It's what I got growing up. Like when I was growing up, I was always popular growing up, and so it really is just an extension of growing up. Like when I would go in my neighborhood, interacting with everybody. It's just that. Go talk, come home.
Right.
Who was funny in your family?
Oh my God. Both my mom and I heard my dad was really funny, but I'm really quiet. I know y'all can't tell, but I will talk, but like if we're at the house, I'm like, you good? All right. And I'm quiet. Yeah. And I'm perfectly okay sitting next to you not talking for 2 hours, as long as you're good.
Right.
I get that from my dad. But they said whenever he opened his mouth, that shit was hilarious. And I'm like that. I see everything.
Yeah.
And then my mom is very charming, so I get that from her. And she's funny.
Charming and funny.
That's why I met you at Laugh Factory. You was reading. It was Tuesdays. We was waiting to get in, and you was reading. It was the Mind book.
Yes. I forget what it was, but. That's a long story. I will always speak very well of my parents. That does not mean we have to agree with how they raised us.
Exactly. That part.
In reference to that book, just going in and establishing what you think about yourself.
Right.
What you will and will not accept for yourself. and those sorts of things, you know. But we're not gonna get all deep.
we ain't gonna get all deep. Well, I mean, you've been in the game for
comedy 22 years.
yes, and a pioneer at what you do. I mean, you open up for Monique, I
work with everybody.
You work with everybody.
Yeah.
What's one of the biggest downfalls you see in this industry, where it's headed, and what's going on right now, especially?
It's a dual. It's a negative and a positive. Is that there are no rules. That's good and bad, because that means, you know, while there are no rules, that means that you can get out here and whatever you want. It's weird because there are no rules, but people tell me I can't say a boy is a boy and a girl. It's weird. But you can make a song called my, you know, coochie pink and my booty hole brown.
Right.
That's a hit.
It's a hit. Multi-platinum.
It's weird, like multi-platinum. So it's the negative and positive is that there are no rules, so that means you can make whatever way you want to, however you want to. But also, with there being no rules, there are no longer what I like to look at as standards for excellence. You know, and so when I say standards for excellence, I look at, you know, the effort and the intention and the focus and dedication and commitment required to create something that wows people, something that will deliver longevity, you know, to you, and something that inspires other generations of excellence.
Right.
And so now we're in a time, and I'm all for everybody doing whatever they want to do. There's plenty of success to go around, but there's the standards are not there.
I wish black people get their priorities straight. It's so funny that, you know, they're mad and they unfortunately canceled your show with Flame Monroe.
Those weren't black people. Black people love us.
Black people love you.
Black people.
My God.
But it's like the same outrage that, and it's not even black people, but like all these other factions like to have.
No, those are homosexuals.
Right, I'm trying to figure out what you talking about,
My
Michael.
point
What
is
you talking about, Michael?
Florida is going through a lot. They're erasing black history in real time.
Right.
But they worry about some pronouns.
I mean, that goes back to there are no rules anymore.
There are no rules, right? But yeah, people in Florida, like they giving a shit. You know, they fighting. I got people in Florida, and they just it's hard though. Like, you know, you got DeSantis just kind of just. I mean, they just did the death penalty for if you rape anyone younger than 12 years old, you get the death.
Now I agree with that.
So I mean, it should be younger than that. But honestly,
it should.
12. When you get 12 years old, like what?
Yeah,
13. You're sorry.
I'm gonna wait till you're 13.
Right. a couple months. Couple months.
It's birthday party.
No, I do think though, like although it's no rules, I feel like we are now going into time, and let me know if you see this too, like where people are actually getting tired of being careful about what they want to say.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and it's I have just gotten really comfortable saying out loud like I'm not a super liberal person, and if we want to be honest, most black people are not liberals. You know, and just a lot of my social politics, I'm like live and let live, but also have some common sense. Some stuff you don't need to tell everybody you're doing, that sort of thing. And I think I started getting more comfortable saying that out loud, like, no, I don't agree with this. Yes, I do believe that Democrats are horrible for black people. I think more black people should be independent voters, you know, because we have been triggered by reparations since forever.
Right.
And they are never going to give black people reparations. The reparation is your black ass is free to get out here and create whatever you want to create.
Right.
And we are duplicated.
And we won't bomb you for it.
Yeah.
That's your reparation.
That's your reparation. I mean, so, but when you tell black people that, they get upset. But to get back to your, you know, the original point is I just got really more comfortable speaking my mind. And at first, I was getting a lot of pushback. Even at shows, like the audience would be very uncomfortable. And then I noticed like the audiences now are like with me, and I'm like, whoa, y'all was fighting me a year ago. What?
Yeah. It's just one of those things where it's just like, okay, PC to an extent, it gets old, and it's like, okay, I'm just tired of tiptoeing, and just speak your mind. It also comes with standing in your truth, like knowing who you are. You're not gonna allow things to shift you either way, and it's like you stand in what you think and what you believe in. So it's like everything else it doesn't matter. So what's going on in them DMs? Because I know people be hollering at you all the time. Ooh. I want to know what's the craziest DM that you've gotten.
Ooh.
Just like a lot of good things take time.
Yes,
I'm sure
they do.
But a lot of great things take time.
They take a while.
Yeah.
My DMs, I mean, it's interesting. I'm almost 40, and I didn't think until I got about maybe 34 or something that I was attractive. And so, because, people be in my DMs asking questions like, what's your favorite city to be in? And, really polite questions.
Right, of course.
But don't nobody
nice
be
ones.
sending no pictures or nothing like that. I'm like, damn, I want to see some...
some free, a little something.
Get friendly in my inbox. And it wasn't until I really started talking to folks, and I recognized that there are a lot of... I get hit on by men and women. But the guys aren't direct because they think that I won't talk to them. And I was like, is that what it is? And so then it made me look, and all my men have been gorgeous. I've never dated, no monkeys or nothing like that.
Not monkeys.
So it shifted my perspective, and I feel really good about that now. Yeah, because I mean, the cute ones be liking my my little photos. You log on and somebody like 20 of your pictures, or they went back and they like one from 2017. If they do that, they crazy. It's 2017.
2017, damn. So your next show is in Jacksonville,
Fort Lauderdale.
Or Fort Lauderdale. I'm sorry, but so what's coming on after that? You have some other shows and
they're cut. Yeah, and I'm always like working on stuff and
yeah, because people are always just like, hey, next week I want you out here. They be flying you out.
Yeah, I get I really am not worried about things. Right now, not a whole bunch of stuff like lined up, but people are always like last minute. Next week, can you come do this? And I'm like, okay, I'll come. So who knows? I might end up on tour with Dave Chappelle. Who knows?
That's what I'm wondering.
Come on. What's your process? I find it like, because I just started doing comedy last year, and I'm still working through my process. But one thing that
he's been doing great. He won
let's go
a contest at the Chateau. I saw that.
Yeah, Chateau. Yeah. No, that was fun. But in the midst of that, I didn't really go to open mics because I felt that a lot of, and we saw this at Laugh Factory is great, but we have to admit that a lot of these open mic places, comedians don't want to laugh at other comedians. Not only necessarily because they're quote unquote not funny, but there's this battle, battle energy that's in the room.
That's just LA.
Yeah.
That's LA.
Yeah, that's an LA thing too.
And also, I think I miss the East Coast with comedy because the East Coast is made for comedy.
Yeah.
Like New York, DC, Philly, you can leave one mic and then you can hop on a train and in 20 minutes you can be doing another mic. You can do that 3 times a night. And the comics, like I was at Laugh Factory last night with some DC comics, very supportive.
Right.
And it's like, we want each other to be, we're there to crack each other up.
Right.
That's what you're supposed to do.
It's not a competition. It's, all right, I saw you, now I'm going to get up there and I'm going to match that.
Right.
And it's not competition. It's just all about the art.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas, and I'm going to admit this, I was never competitive until I moved to LA. As far as competitive as in feeling like I had to be better than somebody. And I think it's because, people think, well, if this person gets something, then I'm not going to get it, and I'm going to have to struggle. And I think it's okay to be okay with whatever your process is. You can be happy for other people.
Yeah, for sure.
But it took me, it took me 20 years to learn that.
Yeah.
But some things you don't know you need to learn.
Right.
If I would have never left the East Coast, I would have never known.
Right.
Deep, I felt insecure, like I had to. And it's not even a talent thing. It was just, I think as minority folks, we kind of get conditioned to accept the idea of like struggle. So that means, oh, well, if he's successful, what about me?
Right.
And so you learn to be afraid of other people's success. And I've had to not care and just be like, well, good for him. Like, even Flame is a close friend. She calls me every time she get off stage. I was just in front of 20,000, and I am happy to hear that.
Yeah.
And she calls me and she tells me that because she knows I am happy to hear that. Like, I like to hear my friends call and tell me that instead of, bitch, I'm over here scrambling eggs on the radio.
Right.
I'm just making it. I don't know where I'm going to get dinner from tomorrow.
Right.
Because if you hear people around you doing well, that means even if you are still working on yours, eventually you're going to catch up. Some of it is going to rub off on you. And a lot more of my friends are successful than they were 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So,
yeah, you are the company you keep, right?
Absolutely.
I feel like, I don't know, LA is a different type of competition. Like, there's hella competition in New York, even Chicago, all that, even in the acting field, music. But it's a different type in LA. It's a type that's, like you said, it's more about, I don't know, it's deeper to a sense of envy, whereas elsewhere I've noticed it's like, it's competitive, it's competition. Like you said, you go up there, you kill it, I'm going to kill it too, I'm going to match that. But we support each other and the love is there.
And it's fun.
And it's fun. That's the biggest thing.
It's fun.
You can come here and, practice your craft and then lose the fun in your craft.
Oh
the city
God.
will make you lose the fun in your craft. If you allow it.
If you allow it.
Right.
I mean, real quick to get back to your point, the open mics I'm not crazy about because it already be 20 people in there.
Right.
And I'm just saying, out of those 20 people, maybe 5 should be doing comedy.
Right. Yeah, I mean, shit, you're true.
Yeah.
That's very true. Very true.
Then it's another 10 who are there because, they're actors and they just want to be seen.
Right. And they just trying it out. Which is fine.
Want somebody to see them.
Right.
Yeah.
I do comedy because that's what I wake up thinking about in the morning.
Right, exactly.
It is the one thing in my life that has forced me to, do things and turn into a person that I need to turn into. Like, it's the one thing that has had that type of attention on my life where I'm like, okay, I can see my life is forcing me to give up this way of thinking or this way of doing things. And like, comedy's really trained me to be a different person. And it's not too many things, have that effect on your life.
Right.
And comedy is one of those things that I'm just very passionate about and I love that much. And I just look at the things that I've come through, and I've come through it because I love comedy that much. Like, when life was crushing me down to the earth, and I was like, man, fuck this. I would go and I would do a show and get a standing ovation, and I'm like, man, I guess I can live another week.
Yeah.
I guess I can live another. But that's some of the greatest, comedians. Their trauma is what fueled their careers.
Yeah.
What can you say to some people who want to get into stand up, and especially some of the youngers coming up?
The only thing I can say is do it because you love it. Don't do it because you want to be seen. Don't do it because you a big showboat. I mean, if that's a part of your personality to be a showboat, that's okay. But at the base, at the core, do it because you love it. you know, as I've matured, I've been able to like just accept. You know, there's some people that come in and get it in 6 months. Stuff that people have been working at for 20 years. You know?
Right.
And I just think that's that sort of quick success. You miss a lot of important character building, and they bring this different energy to the craft. And I just think that you know, it is just more important to really take your time and let your stuff slow burn and just be open to maturing with it and learning and just constantly be doing your best.
Right.
You know, I was listening to Richard Pryor's it was his live album, Night Niggas is Crazy.
Yeah.
No, that nigga's crazy.
That nigga's crazy,
Yes.
yeah. And it was my first time ever listening to it. And I was listening, I was like, yo, back in the 70s, listening to that and the fact that he's better still, not better, but his energy is so infectious. Because I think now, from just observing, a lot of, I guess, the style for a lot of new comedians is almost that deadpan kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about? Like, it's like I call it deadpan.
Straight face.
Yeah, straight face, and it's like, so I was at the barbershop, and, you know, then it goes to the punchline, whatever. And that kind of, like, energy that Richard had, and, of course, the Eddie, but, like, Richard really just highlighting that. I was sitting in my car crying, laughing. Like, I was like, I can listen. Like, it's like I'm
What's
here
your
now.
favorite routine from that album?
When he talked about exorcism. When he talked about exorcism, he's like, get the cross out your pussy. Yo, and the thing about it, it was like, oh yeah, he did that on SNL.
Yeah.
The exorcism sketch. And a lot of comedians like Bernie Mac, like they take their material and flesh out a whole show. Yeah, I'm sure you've done that with your films and stuff.
I have. As far as Richard Pryor, I think his best album was Craps. You got to listen to Craps. I think they filmed it at Maverick's Flat.
What year?
In maybe 68 or 74 or something like that.
Okay.
And he was kind of just coming out of like the big transformation that he had, you know, from wearing the suits and stuff to really, you know, talking about growing up in a brothel and that's why it's called Craps. It's about his life growing up in a brothel. And I thought it was just because I like character comedy, I like storytelling.
Storytelling, is my favorite.
But a comedian who I don't think really gets the credit for how funny he was and how much he contributed to black comedy and humor, just in general, is Red Fox.
Yes. Love Red Fox.
Red Fox, to me, is number one.
Okay.
Red Fox is amazing.
Next on my list.
And Paul Mooney.
Paul Mooney is top 5.
He's ghostwritten for so many. It's it's amazing. But well, so we talked about, like, you know, you making and bleeding your craft out into other avenues. So we had the pleasure of working together. So I love the one you're with. And so what's coming up next? You writing some? Yeah, you're working on some stuff. What's going on?
Some things are coming. You know, I really like comedy, but I also I say this with light. I also have experienced some things that have given me dark energy. Like, I mean, and I think you have to have an element of darkness in order to be a comedian. There has to be, you know, and so stuff is always gonna be funny if I do it, but I also like, you know, horror. I like you know, things that are kind of crazy. So
off the wall.
I want to do more stuff like that. So we'll see.
That's so cool. What do you think about, and this leads to like just current events more so than anything, it seems to be a hate train against black men.
Oh yeah.
And you know, black women said what they said, but now it seems like, not even seems, it is, because there was a viral video of black men in suits. And when I know you saw, I was commenting in my freak account, but I was commenting underneath like these posts like the hate against black men is crazy. These black men in suits are just minding their business, but yet y'all want to keep saying y'all not doing enough for the community. And it was crazy.
You know, I have many thoughts about that, but I think that black men and kind of, you know, a certain type of masculinity, like, because now it's everybody wants to be a woman now. You know, and so if you're not trying to be a woman, and there's nothing wrong with men wearing nail polish. Now, all of them don't need to have it on,
Right.
but you know, like all the dudes want to be bad bitches now.
Right.
But you know, if you were just like a regular guy, you know, there's almost a shaming that happens, and it's coming a lot from black women and gays.
Yeah.
Like, gays have appropriated the most radical parts of black feminism, and they project that onto, and that's why I don't get along with the gays like that. It's certain gays that I get along with. I get along with the mind your business gays, you know. And then there are some black women who like real men, you know, but then there are some who unfortunately are raising young black boys. And they are, I hate the word traumatizing, but they are traumatizing them young black boys, because if you don't have a black woman who is emotionally intelligent and you know, kind of cultured in terms of really understanding the different dynamics, and also is not, you know, projecting any negative feelings that she has towards the baby's daddy onto the boy. It's messing the little boys up, and we don't talk enough about that. And so it's just this ongoing thing. You know, black gays, some of their politics don't make sense, and they get mad if you don't go along with it. And all of them can kiss my black ass. I have a right to think the way I want to think. And I just don't believe that all men need to be wearing dresses. All men don't need to be voguing in the middle of the street. And if somebody has an opinion that's contrary to what the LGBT community, to all them goddamn letters, the alphabet soup people,
The alphabet series, you said.
you know, want to believe, then it's okay for everybody to have their own opinion.
Yeah, of course.
But the people are starting to dislike the LGBTQ community now, because they're trying to force everybody to have certain opinions, and not just force them, but it's almost like violence against them. Like, if you don't believe this, you are a homophobe, and that's one of the worst things. The worst thing you can be called now is a transphobe.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. You are done. Canceled.
And it's I don't get it, because like I was on Comedy Hype, and I went on there and I just said that there's a difference between womanhood and trans womanhood.
Right.
And there is a difference. If you call your grandmama a cisgender woman, she will slap you in the mouth with a dish rag. Because that experience is, you know, of growing up as a young girl, different experiences, experiencing your first period, breast sprouting, getting pregnant, that is a lot different from growing up as a musty little boy and then deciding at 13, you know, maybe I'm not a boy,
right? Or
18, or some of them 60 years old now. Talking about, I'm like, you waited way too long for that.
One state just, I can't remember. They just banned it. Was it hormonal therapy, all that stuff? Can't remember, but they some state just did. I just saw it earlier on Instagram. So how do you see that influencing in entertainment?
I definitely think that people who are not like luckily I am a comedian, and my job is the social commentate. Yes, I get pushback, but I do believe that in entertainment, the idea is to project an image of what looks like a good, virtuous person, and so you're supposed to look like your politics or a certain sort of thing.
Right.
And if you really depend on checks that you get from whatever it is that you're doing, or, you know, really care about playing the social game that goes along with having a career in this business, it probably is best that you keep your opinions to yourself and you know, if there's certain political accounts or something that you want to follow them from an account that is not public. Because a lot of them will go through and see, oh, you follow Fox News, you follow whatever. And they will judge your entire, you know, they will judge you in your entirety based on what some of your political ideas may be, or what your curiosity may be, or what you may be open to thinking about. You know, if you don't just go, oh, I'm a hardcore progressive and I believe in all this stuff, then they would try to keep you from working.
Yeah. I'm curious. What's a good nude to you? What's a good nude? Because you say, I want some good pictures in my DMs. So for those that's listening, what's a good nude?
I'm gonna show you one.
You a mess. Get out of here.
Hilarious.
None of that on here.
Clean mirrors.
Oh yeah, with all them toothpaste marks.
Yeah, toothpaste and shit. Clean room.
Like a mattress on the floor or on the ceiling.
It can be on the floor.
Okay.
It needs to be good. Like, don't send me nothing you sent to everybody else.
Okay.
Because you can tell when somebody done sent it to 20 other people. Like, this your go-to. As a matter of fact, write my name on a piece of paper and hold it up. You got to hold your name up and put the date on there. That's what I want with mine.
I've been, yeah.
And no ashy peen, no ashy privates.
No ashy what? Oh, you said peen. Oh my bad. Wait, what you saying, Michael?
I've been stepping in my new game.
Yeah, wait. Oh, you got the mirrors. You got the.
Well, yeah, it's the angles.
Dirty mirrors.
It's the angles, and then like the lighting. Cause I don't be giving a shit about like all of that. Well, no. For me, I'm lazy sometimes. It's just like I don't feel like doing all of that. But I think now it's like I'm appreciating what God has done for me.
Okay.
So.
Amen.
But yeah, just so the people can know what they need to send you and the qualifications.
I'm not gonna send one back. They need to know I'm not gonna send one back.
Yeah.
But they can send theirs.
You can send theirs.
They can see. He is taking applications, everyone.
I like that. Yeah. Some people have sent them. I've had some really cute people send me some stuff. But it's funny because you would think I would get that on Twitter or Instagram, but they usually come on Facebook.
Really?
Facebook?
Yeah.
Wow. What's your sign?
Ain't like the older crowd on Facebook?
Aries.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Aries. Yeah, Aries. Don't listen to that. Aries. Send all that shit to the Aries. They know.
Now, but now if I don't like it, I'm gonna tell you this is trash.
Exactly.
But
or just
not answer.
I'm not even respond.
Like,
like, please stop.
Don't do it.
He said don't do it.
Right. Have you watched Monique's special?
Yes.
What do you think about it?
I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it. I mean, I think that it's people in this current generation, in our current social climate, may not get it, but I think it was right on par with what we would have gotten from somebody like Richard Pryor back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
It was very raw and vulnerable and honest, and people aren't used to that sort of authenticity now.
Right.
People are used to a lot of superficial humor that you see on like TikTok, and Monique was a little too real for a lot of people.
Definitely, and Lunel. I gotta watch Lunel.
Lunel.
I gotta watch Lunel's.
I saw that one.
Yeah.
That was
Really good.
I gotta watch it. Okay.
Who you like to go see that you haven't seen?
Oh, comedians.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen and worked with everybody that I like, except for Joan Rivers.
Mm.
I saw her in concert when she was 80, and she turned it out. She ran across the stage the entire time, and she had the audience rolling.
I love that.
Oh, but I've worked with. I mean,
Bill Burr.
I've never met or seen him, but I do like his stuff. I met Chappelle and seen him. Monique, Lunel, Robin Williams, Whoopi, Paul Mooney. All of them. I think if he would have lived and been healthier, I would have met Richard Pryor.
Right. Oh my God.
For sure.
Him, Bernie. I feel like, and I'm curious in your opinion. I feel like if Bernie was still alive, because he seemed like he was on track. He was on track in terms of like the movie star comedian to what Kevin Hart is now in terms of movie stardom. Like Bernie would be at that level. Maybe, I don't know, like not in the scope of Kevin, all the things Kevin got going on.
No.
It's too different.
Bernie would have had the same kind of star power as Denzel. And I believe that he probably could have done something dramatic.
For sure. He was more in the playing field of like Eddie Murphy, but like dramatic and comedy. I think Kevin is just like, would you really go see a dramatic movie with Kevin Hart?
Well, he did the one with homeboy from Breaking
I said, would
Bad.
you go see?
What? I haven't seen it. I wanted to though.
But my point exactly.
No, actually, him and Wesley Snipes in that movie, the Netflix one when they was brothers. That was an excellent movie.
I don't know which one it is.
It was Wesley Snipes. So basically, to what Kevin Hart did, he took what he was accustomed to. It was a story about a comedian and just the lifestyle of a comedian, but his brother, who was the fuck up, came in and messed everything up. But that was the first dramatic role that I've seen Kevin in, and I think because he stuck to his comedic roots still, it worked, and it was a fantastic. Was it a movie or a series? It was a movie. It was fantastic. It's on Netflix. I have to watch it.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It was him and Wesley Snipes. Came out like last year.
Now, see, I like that, but I like comedians who can go in, like Robin Williams.
Yeah,
he can kind of play these dark roles.
He can go deep.
I like that.
And Kevin was playing himself though, so I don't really count that. You said he was a comedian. I mean, like,
that's true.
Give me something big.
But doesn't Denzel play himself?
No. The Equalizer is not Denzel.
No.
Training Day is not Denzel.
When I mean himself, like he brings his essence.
Of course, you're always gonna do that.
So Kevin did the same.
But I'm saying he's playing a comedian. You said he was a comedian. A comedian playing a comedian. It's easier to step into, whereas you have like Robin Williams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And 1 Hour Photo was amazing.
1 Hour Photo.
Yes.
I agree that one.
And Boulevard, amazing. That was his last movie. I like seeing comedians step into that, like Monique in The Reading.
The horror movie.
Oh, The Reading, yes.
Oh shit, and Precious.
Precious was good. Yeah.
Watched that faithfully.
You watched that faithfully.
The monologue.
He said you watched that faithfully.
It was just so, and I watch it and I just pick up on certain things. Like I watch it as an actor.
Yeah,
like
for sure. It's great.
I watch it studying it and just how they did what they did, and just her little mannerism when Precious brought over the plate with the pork and the mac and cheese, but she didn't put no greens or yams. I forgot what it was.
Greens,
yeah. And Monique looked at it and how she was doing it. She said, "You made greens. You made fucking pig's feet and no greens. And why is there so much fucking hair on it?" But the way her eyes caught the pig's feet, like I feel like, and not an untrained actor, but a new actor, it's like you can kind of see that they're going just to the next line. But she just embodied it. And I'm like, God, it's so damn good.
Monique is a great actress.
Yes, she is.
She is. I fuck with Monique heavy,
yes,
man.
indeed.
Oh, my God.
Heavy. Okay, but before we get off, I got some trivia I want to ask you, okay? Before we wrap it up.
Who was the first gay man? No,
we're gonna see how well you know your fave, Mr. Red Fox.
Okay.
All right. So we got 4 questions I want to ask you. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Red Fox was born
December the 11th, 1930. No, I don't know. I know he was born December the 11th.
December 9th.
Okay.
But
No,
that
he
was-
died on October the 11th.
Yeah, that wasn't the question, though.
Oh.
Good damn. So he was born on December 9th, okay? In what year was he born?
Oh,
This is multiple question, all right? 1930, 1921, or 1922?
I think 1922.
Let's go. She got
Oh,
the first
wow.
one. Good job. All right, moving on. So, what is Reg Fox's real name? You want
John
multiplication or
Elroy.
you-
John Elroy.
Okay, what's the last name?
I think.
It was in the show.
I think it's Sanford.
Yes, 2 for 2. There you go.
And his brother actually was Fred Sanford.
Wow.
That is, yeah. Which, that wasn't a question, but I'm glad you touched on that. When Red was 16 years old, he dropped out of high school to go to New York City. What was the name of the high school he attended? Was it Bradley Bourbonnais C High School, Southside DuSable High School, or Grant Park High School?
I think it was Southside. No. Say those again.
Bradley Bourbonnais High School, Southside DuSable High School, or Grant Park High School?
It was either number 1 or number 2. I think it was DuSable.
Yeah, 3 for
That was
3.
right.
Yes,
Yeah.
so good job. All right, last but not least, from 1951 and 1955, Fox teamed up with another black comedian. This comedian would later make seveal guest appearances in the hit.
Slappy White.
Yeah, good job. Love it. He knows his Red Fox. All right. This guy knows his Red Fox, so don't.
I know comedy. I know the history of comedy.
Yes, I love comedy though. It just
I do.
laughter brings joy to the heart. It's yeah, I love it. It's I think it's one of the things that also black people use in every aspect of life, whether
Yeah.
it be when you're mourning, it's just having a good time. Like it doesn't matter. It's just laughter is something that brings heart, greatness to our soul, and something that I pride us black people with.
Yes.
Because let's be honest, we are the greatest comedians.
We are.
Speaking of one of the greatest ones right here, Sampson McCormick. Thank you so much for joining us. And Sampson, go ahead and tell us where to find you.
All right. So Instagram at Sampson McCormick, on YouTube, SampsonComedy.com, and Twitter at Official Sampson.
Let's go, Big Mike.
You can find me on Instagram at life.with.mike and Michael Houston on Facebook. Twitter can't give that out.
Go ahead, give us like the first 2 letters or they numbers.
Oh no, this is a separate Twitter account.
Oh, damn. Freak Twitter, got it. And you can find me everywhere. I am Danny Royce. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see you next time on Stand Up. You already know.